love you, Buffalo.
So I got a call from a very, popular locations manager for movies. My boy Bobby Gott. He gives me a call, and he sounds very frantic when he calls me this particular time. And he says, "Hey Pete, I have one of your background extras here."
Oh
recording."
my God, I know where you're going with this.
And he says he's not on any lists.
Well, first of all, hold on. Before you jump into
Okay.
it, we all got this phone call. And because I remember I was standing in Home Depot, and I'm like, what
Right.
Bobby calling me for? And it was like missed call. I think we had a miss on the Buffalo
On the
Buffalo
casting
line.
side, yeah, for sure.
And try to reach out to Harry. And apparently he's been like trying to get a hold of all three of us.
Yeah.
And finally you
I
got a hold
picked
of
up.
you.
He got a hold of me, and he says, "Hey, there's a actor that's here that's not on the list." So I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Everyone that we sent is on the list, Bobby. I can send it to you." And he says, "Well, he's not, and he's here." And he says, "What do you want me to do?" And I said, "What do you mean? What I want you to do?" I said, "He has to leave."
Got a whole wardrobe with him too.
So this guy shows up on set, suitcase, presentable, and he says, "Yeah, the casting director sent me here." And just hoping to get on the set.
I'm out of the loop of this world, and I've heard this story. This is a legendary Buffalo story.
Just shows up and says, "Hey," and just hoping to get in. And the thing is that, of course, for people out there that maybe don't know that's not the proper thing to do, on a professional film set, every person that's there is allocated a paycheck, right? Like you can't just squeeze in, right, and hoping that you're going to get
some jobs, some industries, you might be able to weasel your way in, and that might be a way in.
Right.
As an actor, though, unless you're on the skins or the call sheet, you're on big budget films, you just can't.
Yeah, it's a process to get there. This isn't something that you can't sit there and say, "Hey, the casting director, told me where to be." Like this person actively went out, found out where this production was shooting, and found out when call times were around enough to make it almost sellable.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the call sheet. So what he doesn't know is that actually everyone reported to a totally different location who was background to go get ready, hair, makeup, and didn't come to set.
Right.
So it's then them trying to make up that stuff. But there's a process here. This is a union film set. What does that mean? That means we have to station 12 you.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know what station 12 is, we have to literally
get you cleared through the Screen Actors Guild.
Yes.
Right? Like every single person that shows up for work is accounted for in so many different areas, right? Even down to the meals. You can't just show up and say, "Hey."
Yeah. We have to reach out to you. We have to either get your SAG number if you're already in SAG or your Social Security number, run it through the union.
Yeah.
Make sure that you don't have any dues that have built up if you're actually cleared to actually work that day.
Could you imagine someone just showing up to an office job and just sitting at a desk and be like, "No, I work here." It's like, "No, you don't."
Right.
No, I'm going to work here. Like, "No, you don't."
It's even so much as
Very
showing
audacious.
up to be a police officer who doesn't have a background check and says that, "Oh yeah, no, they hand me this gun." There's a process to get here. That the nerve of that to be like, "Okay, I get it."
I believe what you mentioned is also a crime. I don't think you can
It's
impersonate
trespassing, though. It's
For sure. That was trespassing. I had to have a very stern conversation.
Well, and the day that he chose to show up, it was like an intimate, closed down set too.
Yeah,
it was a closed set. There was going to be intimate things happening, within the realm of the movie. It was not the day to choose for you to show up. It was not the day to try to pull this off on.
I'm not sure there's ever a day to try to pull this off. If you're listening at home, don't even try.
No, and that's the thing.
Ill-advised.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you, and it's going to be hard for us to even turn around and hire you again when you do this stuff, because it's like you're trying to use our names to try to put yourself on a pedestal, and that's not how this works in this industry. It really is a huge learning curve. So, anyways, we're here. We're podcasting Buffalo. Pictures up, guys.
Hey.
This is episode 2.
Dose.
One of our crazy stories that happened here. More to come But yeah, this is, working right into the call sheet here. Like,
Yeah, what's the call sheet say today?
yeah, I was gonna say, like, well, his name wasn't on it.
Right.
But with us, what we've been kind of going on lately, what we been doing?
Man, so right, it doesn't feel like we're busy, but we are busy.
Yes, yeah.
Right. It doesn't feel
things are
like it,
getting
but we
busy.
are.
And it's January too,
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
January into February. Like, it's busy. Usually, we're kind of waiting around, or Fred Olin Ray's here with a movie.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and that's the thing. I think he's possibly coming back.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of things.
For sure, a
possibly
lot
on
of things in the
horizon.
thing. Absolutely. Right now, we are casting a feature film in the area that's shooting in the area. It's called Yeti, and it's like one of those old school horror films, man, with a monster. Like, you don't see those anymore, right? So we're casting
Classic.
that. And our partner is also directing something.
Yep. So I've been a director for a long time now here, but I've kind of shifted over doing a lot of commercial work, and my idea is to, make sure that I'm always using that muscle.
Yeah.
My producer and I was able to.
Can you announce it?
out? Nope, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, you're not gonna do it.
But
Okay.
we're able to bid this gig out, and we're kind of right smack in the middle of pre-production right now. And
Good.
we did casting through us. And we're able to fill that all the way out, and it
Yeah.
was something like 15 roles, which is crazy. And it's I'm really excited to kind of get on set and shoot again and direct.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to do in the process, and it's many years of kind of sitting in the background learning it and being a first AD to a lot of first-time directors, or working on commercials as the first AD. And 2 years ago, I kind of like looked at it and was like, all right, I can't sit back anymore.
go time.
I can't sit there and watch
Yeah.
so and so do this, and like, I've learned so much, and I got to go. So it's been 2 years of kind of just making these commercials and building that reel up and kind of directing. And we've done one for a nonprofit. We've done one for a doula. We've done one for a amazing sports facility. And now it's kind of moving forward. So
But as much as film is super fun for actors, on the day-to-day, there's a lot of commercial work coming
there's
through.
a ton of commercials.
Proportionally speaking to the film work, so this is super important to hear.
Oh yeah,
And with how the Bills are doing, how hot they are, there's
yeah.
only going to be more commercial work there. We know that.
absolutely. And we've a lot of, you look at it, and I feel like the film work and the film casting is only like 50% of what we even do. Like, another 50% is there's a lot of commercial and advertising stuff that we do.
That's what keeps us afloat. And,
Yeah.
especially during COVID and all that stuff, it was, we tell people that your local market is where you really want to tap into, so it's the local commercials and that and the advertisement, that's what's really been keeping us going.
Oh yeah, people get starry-eyed over the films, but like, you're still, and you know this too, Peter, because you go out there and seek the same exact type as an actor
absolutely.
of trying to get in commercial and advertisement. It's because you're still strengthening that muscle. You're still working it out. You're on set, and whenever any chance that you have to be on set,
You got to do it.
you got to do it.
You got to do it.
It's
And you're making connections,
a ton of connections.
and you're adding to your reel. There's a bunch of great reasons.
Oh yeah, and to sit there and see, I got in a national, commercial with Tony Romo, or I got into, you know what I mean? Like, it's a part of it, and it's something not looked at. You know what I mean? To
No,
step
for sure.
over. It's a part of your journey, and just keep on adding to it. You might not be able to do the same, emotional connection for a character, but like, from a director's perspective, even how I'm pursuing, like how I'm directing this commercial, there's got to be story.
Oh, yeah.
Even if the one shot is only 3 or 4 seconds long, I'm giving it all. Like,
You gotta
this
do it.
person is in this situation, they come from here, and they're doing this, and I need to know why the line serves the story and why we're even seeing them in their moment.
Depending how much this and all ads that people are going to be in play, people are seeing you over and over and over again.
yeah?
And they're watching that performance over and over and over again. So if it's off and people don't like it, they're just going to see a bad performance happen over and over again. They can pick that apart in their
absolutely.
mind. They can go, that one with that weird person who did a weird job. That's not good. It
And
has to be on.
for all that commercial and advertising, I mean, we're talking, it's broadcast.
Yeah.
It's social media,
Social.
which lives forever.
It's huge.
Sometimes it's billboards, sometimes it's radio, sometimes it's just online print. It can be anywhere, and it kind of lives forever in that. aspect. So like, why not? And I know you've actually gotten gigs for as like spokesperson.
Yeah, no, I've been a spokesperson. I've done some national commercials, man, and it's
I don't know if I can say it, but UB. I mean,
oh yeah, for sure.
Horns up over there. It's a fun thing to do and get into. So right now it's kind of feature films and commercials for both of us, and that's kind of what we do all year round. But it's definitely, we're feeling it now, and that's kind of what we got going on.
Yeah.
So as much as we sing the praises of the commercial work, in our hearts, though, we're having fun with film.
Film.
Should we watch a scene?
Hey,
yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
You want to watch a scene? Who brought the scene today?
Terry
did.
Oh man.
I did.
All right.
I think I have no idea what this is gonna be.
Yeah, me either.
Right? You don't know either.
No,
Okay.
no, we're going in blind this time.
Ooh-wee.
Episode 2, we're going in blind.
Okay. Yeah, Harry,
All
I'm
right.
ready.
Are we ready
Bring
for a
out the
surprise?
big dogs. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
let's go for it.
All right, here we go.
For all of your insurance needs, make sure you contact Craig Willoughby over at Willoughby Insurance, 716-885-8100. Make sure you ask for Craig and tell him Casting Buffalo sent you for special rates. My boy Willoughby will when nobody will.
Look, if you work in film, you know how brutal the hours can be. Long days, unpredictable schedules. There's barely enough time to eat healthy for yourself, let alone work out before or after set. Staying in shape almost feels impossible. That's exactly why Ascend Fitness remote coaching exists. Whether you're on set or just juggling a busy life, this isn't a generic program. It's 100% customized to you, your schedule, your goals, your equipment, and even how you feel day to day. You'll get a fully personalized plan, expert coaching, and real accountability so you always know exactly what to do, no matter how crazy life gets. And right now, they're offering an exclusive deal. Sign up for 1 month and get the second month free, but only for the first 10 people. Spots will go fast. Go to trainascend.com and book your free coaching call before they're gone.
Looking for an unforgettable dining experience in Buffalo? Head to Daniela Restaurant, where every bite feels like home. Whether you're craving classic Italian favorites or exploring something new, Daniela's menu has something for everyone, from handcrafted pastas made with love and the finest ingredients. And it's not just about the food. Daniela's warm, welcoming atmosphere is perfect for a date night, family dinner, or special celebration. Plus, with a carefully curated wine list, the perfect pairing is just a sip away. So why wait? Head over to Daniela today. Come for the food. Stay for the experience.
Do you love horror movies? Here on Getting Scarried Away, we sit down to talk about what we love about the genre, shout out fellow horror creators, and spill buckets of useless horror knowledge for your next trivia night. Join me, Ricky Needham, and my co-host, Rhiannon Needham, as we dive headfirst into your favorite horror movies. Subscribe today anywhere you get your podcasts.
Robbing a bank's a federal offense. They got me on kidnapping, armed robbery. They're gonna bury me, man. I don't want to talk to somebody who's trying to calm me. Get somebody in charge here. I am in charge. I don't want to talk to some flunky pig trying to calm me.
You don't have to be calling.
What's he doing?
Yeah.
So that was a clip from the movie Dog Day Afternoon, starring Al Pacino, directed by Sidney Lumet. And the reason I picked that film was when I think of a clip that has so many amazing aspects of cinema, this one is definitely one of the top ones. And I think it touches on everything from acting to production design to everything about it is just incredible. And I think what's powerful about this for me is knowing that there's also a Western New York connection, which is that Attica, which is what he's screaming about, was in regards to the incident at the prison here in New York State, which is not too far from Buffalo. And I think has a lot of, it had at the time had a significant impact on this state. Not only, people who were in prison there at the time, but also prison guards, their families. It certainly changed the way New York State, responds to incidents like that in prisons. And I think it speaks about a lot of things going on, not only in the country at that time, but even still things that we're dealing with today. And I think one thing that I love knowing about this scene was that once I looked up, info about it long ago, and I remember I had read that the AD basically told Al Pacino right before he went out in this scene that he wanted him to start screaming Attica at the end. And that was
wasn't in the
totally
script?
improvised. Totally
What?
improvised. And Sidney Lumet is known for having pretty open sets where he embraces improvisation, which I think as a director is a great thing, because what you do is you completely put yourself for situations like that to occur, which is just part of the movie magic,
Oh, yeah.
And
I had
him,
no
him
idea that wasn't
screaming
in the
Attica
script.
too. Yeah, wasn't even in the
I'm
script.
shocked.
And him screaming Attica was an attempt to really try and, he's trying to garner the public support there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's trying to make the common person sort of feel for what he's
trying
going
to flip
through.
the script.
Yeah.
And that story of being like, okay, I want to gain the support of the outside. They're on my side. No, it's a fantastic movie, fantastic pick.
Those POV shots right off the bat, with
Yo,
all
yeah.
those cops hit me
Yo,
real hard.
I
Imagine
was
just-
gonna say
you feel it.
that alone, right? Like just looking at some of those POV shots and the placement of every single person. I mean, that's not for nothing. That's an AD's job too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To place everybody where they know the camera's gonna pan. That was a lot of work, especially from the people on the roof.
That was
You know what I'm
big.
saying?
Yeah.
How many background was in that scene?
That's a lot.
You know what I mean? That's a lot just from a production value standpoint. And then Al Pacino just kind of going in and mastering that. And it's him in front of a mob. You know what I'm saying? And being able to see the fear in him. Like, hey, listen, I'm about to go up. They got me. But then also trying to rally the people's support. You know what I'm saying? You see the fear in him about what's going to happen, but then you also start to see the courageousness. It's just a masterful performance.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
blocking and staging in there is
Yeah.
fantastic. And I mean, like, you're talking about a director who is known for how he stages the camera and how he blocks actors. And just he almost makes it look like an arena.
Right.
Right, like and he puts layers to it. You have the officers, and that idea of like the force right there, and all these people behind him.
For sure.
It's like a painting.
It is, and seeing these layers to everything, and building story around the layers of where he is, and how he is like this small character that needs to
Right.
rise above everyone in front of him. And of course, you have a fantastic performance by Al Pacino.
A young Al.
Young Al,
Young
top of
Al.
his game.
For sure.
Kind of looked like Harry a little bit in that
Yeah,
clip. I'm
he
just
did.
saying.
He shaved his beard out, get the little hair on. Young
The
Al.
disheveledness that I bring.
But amazing choice there. And again, like, if you don't know anything about Sidney and how he was masterfully is able to block and stage, he is very like him and Steven Spielberg are one of those.
Oh yeah.
Just can walk into a room and be like, yep, this. And
I saw that. Did you see that document? It's old, but a documentary on Spielberg, and they talked about like how his memory works like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Where like he
think
doesn't
I've
like to
seen that,
prep.
yeah.
He likes the spontaneity of being able to figure things out like on the spot. I thought it was amazing when I saw it.
And Sidney's very, very similar to that of how he did things as well. It's just like, okay, well, let's work it out.
Right.
Let's do that dance, and which then leaves it up to the idea of improvisation, like you mentioned, because it's a collaborative effort now. Of like, okay, well, how do we do this dance together with camera and with people, and what makes sense cinematically, but story.
But note to a lot of actors that's out there, like, don't just go and try and improv like in front of the director.
No.
Unless it's
Improv-
invited.
I was gonna say
You know
it's an
what I'm
invited
saying?
improv from
Right.
from usually from a directing standpoint.
You
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
you gotta
for sure.
read the room.
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
that.
you got to read. You can't just don't come and go and improv a scene
Yeah.
and like it wasn't approved.
That's a perfect segue to learn about some etiquette.
Hey,
Perfect segue.
for sure. I think on today's segment of Etiquette, again, I wanted to talk to actors, man. Like, a lot of times, and this is a lot for a lot of new actors, right? New actors, maybe it's their first time going to set. It is, they're new in the business. Maybe, again, they're just not familiar with the entire process, so we kind of opened up today talking about, people that show up on set when they're not supposed to. So here are some of the things you should do when you arrive to set, right? The first thing is always be on time.
Always.
Hello, right? So like in our company, typically what we do is the night before the shoot is scheduled and that, actors are getting ready to report, we send emails, right, with your call time, okay, and where instructions where to park, instructions on what to bring and all those things with you. But it all goes out the door when the PAs call me and say, hey, so-and-so was late.
Yeah. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you may as well not
Don't
show
even
up.
come, right? Don't even come. And I think also another, to kind of add on to that is that be serious about like what you're there to do, right? I think that oftentimes in our area,
It's a job, not a hobby.
well, that's the thing, right? So in our area, sometimes, because people don't do it full time, they treat it as a hobby, right?
Not
But
what it
treating it
is.
as a hobby when to us, it's a job because guess what? You're getting paid to be there, right? So like there's never a situation where you can it's optional to show up to work
Yes, exactly.
when someone's paying you.
And again, we're talking about unions. We're talking about
Right.
like
It's okay to
there's
do
money.
that with a hobby.
Yeah.
Want to do your hobby on Wednesday? Sure.
Right.
Want to take it off on Friday? Sure.
I'm not going to the gym today. I'll wait. Like,
Right.
no, this is, and then, don't sit there. And if for some reason there's a real emergency, yeah, of course we'll understand. But like, it's also this thing of like, you can't expect then like, oh, I could do it again next time.
Right.
It's like, no.
So I live in the land of hobby filmmakers with the 48-hour film project. And I got to tell you, it still screws people over. You got a lot of people waiting. You got a lot of people trying to do something real fast. And it's just, it can't happen. It can't happen.
Right. Filmmaking in particular, for a lot of the actors that are watching this, the general slogan that you should always remember is hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the name of the game.
We need you here because you need to be accounted for. But now you got to wait until we finish, and get the scene ready for it.
And know that as an actor, you're not the only one who's necessarily, beholden to that idea of the hurry up and wait.
yeah.
I mean, that's
That's everybody.
It's
you
everybody
think
on
the
a
set
fucking
medic,
job.
hopefully the set medic's doing a lot of waiting.
Right. Which brings me into another form of that is make sure you bring something to do,
Yeah.
right? Like bring a book, bring a snack, bring something, to occupy yourself in between the time.
Or do exactly what you've given advice on multiple times is pay attention to what's around you.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't have that
notes.
phone on you. Take notes.
Right.
Pay attention to where the
immersed in
lighting
it.
is.
Yeah.
Learn about, ask questions about who's doing what job.
Right.
Because then you can turn around and do exactly what you mentioned before, which is like you're encompassing, it's your job, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pay attention to that
And
job.
and believe me, producers who are on set, they look around, and one of the things they're constantly doing is observing what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And when they
How can
see
I save
you
money,
doing
right?
that, when they see you being active and doing the right things, they're going to want to hire you more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely. When I see that and people don't believe this or not, but we check in with the ADs to find
All
out
the time.
who
Yeah.
was a problem.
Yeah.
Who gave us who gave the production any
Who would you
issues?
invite back?
Right. Those are things. So I think that in on top of all of that, the last portion, even when they're on set, you find something to do and everything. I always tell actors to make sure, especially if they're in the background or if it's a speaking role, pay attention to your own continuity.
Yeah.
Right?
It's huge.
Know what you did in that last shot, right? Only because it's maybe the first director or whoever is in charge, maybe they didn't see what you were doing in that last shot. For the sake of the production, because you're there, you're there to be hired. Make everybody's life easier.
Mm-hmm.
Learn your own continuity. If you were over here at that last shot, do the same thing.
Yeah.
But also, it'll probably help to keep you immersed in what you're doing,
Yes,
too,
absolutely.
by learning your own continuity, you know?
For sure.
And being that on top of it.
And it's like, and when you're resetting, right? You know what I mean? Like usually and it depends on what you're, you know, if you have a speaking role, if you're a principal, you're going to have the director, which means resetting for camera, for the DP, for, you know, continuity for your script supervisor. But if you're background, you're usually talking to either the second AD, which if you don't know what that is, it's a weird thing to say, but there is a first assistant director who is basically like the maestro of the set in charge of safety and making sure that your things are on time and talking to all the different departments. You have the second AD, which is their right-hand person who's talking about looking at call sheets and figuring out today. So the easiest way to look at it is the first AD is today, the second AD is tomorrow, and the second, which is just a second AD.
Sometimes you have additional seconds.
We
too.
do. It depends how many people there are, right?
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I want second.
Yeah. The second is everything in between that today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you're usually, you know, speaking to a second who's placing you as background, or you have a background PA who's or a background handler who's putting you where you need to be for blocking, and that's who your guide. And if you're aware of what's going on and you're
Make his life
resetting,
easier.
you're making their lives so much easier because now you're knowing where to reset, you knowing where to go.
So this is really incredible, guys. I'm always impressed with the knowledge that you have here because, I mean, I'm around movie world so much, but then I hear from you the details of even the second AD, and my mind and my head spin. Let's take it to recast.
Yeah.
See.
All right.
So this week, normally one of us will come up with it, but since episode 2, I want to throw a curveball at us. So I actually toss it over to Jordan
Oh, geez. Wow.
to come up with the movie that we are going to recast. And again, if you haven't listened to Recast before, it's basically taking a classic film that everybody knows and loves and what happens if they're rebooting it or remaking it today. And we are now the casting directors who have to figure out how are we putting that onto screen. I know a lot of us hate the idea of reboots and remakes, but it is something of, you know, the future. So
Listen, everybody's doing reboots.
so in this, Jordan has the right to this movie. He is the producer, and he has approached us to cast the film.
Back to the Future.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
There's a play version of this that I haven't seen yet, and I'm coming around on the idea of having a play version of it.
So
but
I saw it, the
coming to
musical on
shapes.
Broadway.
I can't wait.
It is phenomenal. They
Okay.
just closed their Broadway run.
Right.
So now they can take it on tour. It is so much fun.
Wait,
like
you were backstage though.
I did go.
You
I got
were
to go
backstage.
backstage. I got to see
Yeah.
the DeLorean, and what they do with the DeLorean is absolutely incredible. I got to meet the actor who is Goldie Wilson.
Oh,
in the story.
third.
Exactly.
As you can tell, I'm a Back to the Future.
I
nerd.
am
Beautiful.
actually.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we share that in common. Yeah.
So if you said to me, even though a lot of people know me, like I really love horror films, I love thrillers. Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time.
I have to second that. I'm in that same pool.
It's a great movie.
Love it.
It's
How do we recast?
we got to choose 3. We got to choose Doc,
characters.
Marty, and Biff.
okay. All right. See, this is going to be tough because I never want to see this movie remade in my entire life, so I have to go against the grain here.
Right.
Well, is it remade or is this Back to the Future 4
Back
directed
to the Future.
by Robert Zemeckis again?
4. Right. 4.
Okay, I like
They're
that
in the
angle.
future now.
Like the
this is not the
second
Western.
AD, the Back to the Back to the Back to the Future.
The back to the back to the back to the. Okay.
All right. Okay. I like that.
It's
angle.
so this is tough, just because even to cast this. I mean, again, Michael J. Fox, killed this role, right? But he was also like in his prime at that time. So like Michael J. Fox, I think he had just did Teen Wolf, as
Amazing.
well.
Yeah,
right. He
amazing.
did
Family
that one.
Ties. He was
Yeah.
shooting at the same exact time.
Right. And I don't, how old was he around that time? He had to be
He was in his 20s.
right in his 20s, mega star. But also, you know, the thing about he had to be young enough to look young enough to play a kid, right? High school kid.
And remember, Michael J. Fox was a recast himself.
I heard that.
Because Eric Stoltz
I
was
heard
actually
that.
originally
I heard
cast as
that.
Marty
I
McFly.
heard-
And then they'd been trying to get Michael J. Fox, but because of his conflicts with Family Ties, he couldn't do it. Well, they shot many, many weeks with Eric Stoltz as Marty.
It wouldn't. Have
And
been
it
this.
and it just it
No.
wasn't clicking.
No.
It wasn't clicking. It wasn't working out. So they ended up firing Eric Stoltz, and they said they called up. They
Yeah.
made a deal to bring Michael J. Fox in as Marty. And during the day he would shoot Family Ties, and at night he would be shooting Back to the Future. And they reshot something like 60% of the film.
You know, I know that as an actor, you're going to have rejection that you face in your life.
Yeah, not like
I don't know
that.
how you bounce back from that and see this movie
Man,
forever.
yeah, forever.
Yeah, just
I was the original. Right?
Yeah.
I also heard that the DeLorean was a freezer in the beginning.
Yes, in the original script. It
Yeah.
was. Yes, it
that
was.
DeLorean was a freezer.
Yes.
Not
Can
as
you
cool.
imagine that?
But then
Not
the
as
idea
cool.
was, how do we put it on wheels? How do we get back and
Right.
forth? I can give you reams of knowledge.
We can do
on
Back to the Future nerd talk all
Yeah.
day.
Oh,
All right. We
Um,
got to figure out. Harry, give me. Okay, so was it Marty you said? And
Marty,
Doc.
Doc, and Biff.
Okay.
Okay, so who do you want first from me?
Let's go Marty.
Let's go big. Yep.
Marty.
So, for Marty, for me, for this one, I would go with Tom Holland.
Oh, shit.
I was thinking about that.
The reason I picked Tom Holland is because I think he exhibits sort of a he has like the curiosity that I think Marty McFly.
The boyish charm.
Yes, the
Yeah.
boyish charm, the haven't quite peaked and become fully mature yet. To you know what I mean? Still kind of some of those vibes.
You see him as Spider-Man. He's always running.
Mm-hmm.
Marty's always running everywhere.
sure,
He's
for
got
sure,
it going on.
for
It
sure.
works.
Yeah.
This is tough because I just mentioned, I said that, during that time, Michael J. Fox was in his 20s, but he had to play a kid. And just off the head like this, off the dome, it's tough, man. I'm probably going to go, we got to shave him down, shave his beard. We may have to cut his hair. I'm going to go Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, I did think about
I'm gonna go
that. I thought about a Shia LaBeouf.
I think that he has the innocence. He has the curiosity. He's funny. He does a lot
physical,
of. He's
too.
physical. He can do a lot of those things, man. I think that Shia LaBeouf would be my
Okay.
Marty.
All right. Okay. Oh, this is so tough for me. Okay. I'm going to take your angle here. Harry, and sit there and say, we're going to go in the world that we're going to do a continuation of the story. All right. So basically,
We're doing part 4.
so this is how I'm taking it as.
Okay.
I'm taking it as a continuation of the story, but what they did is just like James Bond, like we're casting like they're the same exact characters.
Okay.
But just putting new actors into those characters
Gotcha.
to continue the story.
Right.
And go from there.
How many Spider-Mans have we had? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. But
Right.
so like for my ideas, like same with like James Bond, it's the same story, just continuing, just someone else plugged in. It's actually what I would do with Indiana Jones as well.
Oh, that's-
is I would just boom, it's the next part in the story and just new people in there. So my Marty, originally I was thinking Tom Holland, is Joe Keery, and he is from Stranger Things.
okay.
Yeah, he has this kind of cool, smart, little fun, little like cool guy action and all that. He can sing because he's actually a lead actor or a lead guitarist or singer for I forgot his band.
Yeah, he's in a band. Yeah.
But he is a lot of fun in the show. I think he's someone that everyone kind of draws to, and you need that presence. And again, he comes from a television show in that prime, and now boom, he's playing Marty.
He has that awkward factor too.
He does.
He's not the
Yeah.
slickest around.
Yep.
He's got quirk.
He's handsome, but he's quirky,
Yeah.
and like you don't really know, what he's going for. So that's Joe Keery is my choice for
Good one.
Good.
for Marty.
Good.
What about Doc?
Here's what's interesting, right? is that when you think about this Doc Brown character, I'm also looking at the age, because Doc, Christopher Lloyd at that time, I think that they aged him up, with the white hair and all
Oh
that.
yeah.
They aged him up.
That's why in the second one he gets his face redone.
Right, he pulls it off. It's the same.
So he didn't
face,
have to
right,
wear the
yeah.
makeup anymore.
So it's what's interesting about this. The only person that I could even see coming close to that character, and unfortunately he's not living, but I would put Gene Wilder in there. Gene Wilder kind of fit
great.
that same.
Absent-minded
Oh my
professor.
gosh, Gene Wilder was a genius, comedic genius, man. The movies that he did with Richard Pryor and just all the stuff that he's directed. Just like I said, it's not today, but if I had to recast it, I would put Gene Wilder as Doc Brown all day.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. I love Gene Wilder.
Yeah, right?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go for it,
Okay,
please.
so I would say now the rest of my choices on this are going to start to seem like I'm just doing a parody or a satire. So my choice ahead would be Eugene Levy.
Oh my God.
I see him. Nobody is more absent-minded in my mind than him, And I could see him as a professor type.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Mine is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Is
I can see
Doc.
that. Listen,
Yeah.
Robert is amazing at the craft, right? Like his role, my favorite Robert Downey Jr. is in Tropic Thunder.
Yep.
He playing a dude, is playing a dude.
I think his fast
masterful.
talkiness,
Very
his-
versatile.
he's just very versatile. You age him up a little bit. He's a little wacky. He's a little, I think it would be a fun role for him to sink his teeth in and kind of go really quirky.
For sure.
Really quirky.
And he could do it.
Yeah, he's got the range. He was so good in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
so good.
I thought of a weird one here because I'm watching Sonic movies. Jim Carrey.
Murder Doc Brown.
Oh, yeah,
my
he
gosh,
would.
He is, yeah, man.
It'd be a weird one, but
Yeah, for
But
sure.
who's
That's
better weird?
Oh yeah.
No one
King of
plays
weird.
No one does
King
that
of weird.
better than Jim Carrey. You're right.
Yep.
That is. Look, he gets the finder's fee.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. For sure. That's
So
excellent choice.
tough right now though for Biff because I don't. Who's a Biff character?
Let me
these
say
days?
something, man. Tom Wilson, that played the character Biff, is probably one of the most underrated actors in American cinema history, right? To play his character and then to play older, he's played the bad guy and he played different versions of this bad guy
Western bad
in
guy?
so many different pictures. Tom Wilson is literally got to give him his flowers. For someone to play that role, I think that we were talking about this before. It's interesting. You're right. There's no bad, big 1980s bad guys anymore, right? Now they're like sexy bad dudes, right? So I probably am going to give it to Liam Hemsworth, right? So in Land of Bad, this dude is handsome as heck, right? But then he's also has that big intimidating figure like his brother, you know what I mean? Like Chris.
Interesting.
I would take Liam, you know what I mean? And he's in that age range too, you know?
So, again, back to the parody version of the movie, I would go with a late 1980s, early 1990s Donald Trump because he is Biff.
Yo,
Biff.
wait a minute. I never
That is Biff.
That's crazy.
That's why I'm choosing.
Yo.
That's part two. That's why he looked exactly, put him in that suit.
We're in the future.
Yeah,
In-
we are
Yeah,
back to
this
the
is the
future.
prophecy.
The prophecy was fulfilled.
So, wait a minute. Donald Trump is Biff Tannen.
We are in alternative reality 1985 in 2025.
When he went to, remember when they went back and he created the alternate 1985 at the casino?
Who-
That's
they-
Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's got a casino too.
Crazy.
Okay, my Biff, I don't even know if you guys will know this guy, but I love this actor. His name is Billy Magnuson. Have you seen the new Roadhouse?
Oh yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The kid on the boat who's kind of like running everything.
Okay,
Like,
okay, yeah,
He's blonde, he's handsome, but he is such an asshole in every
Really?
single role that he's in. He's been in a ton. He's been in Game Night. He's been Into the Woods. He was Rapunzel's prince in that. There was a smaller movie called Ingrid Goes West that came out about 10 years ago. It has Audrey Plaza in it, and he also plays like the weird brother who's like on drugs the entire time. But I mean, he is a complete asshole. He has the face for it, and I think he can play that jock. But also, like, I can see him sitting there, knocking on his head.
Fly.
So that's my choice, Billy Madison.
You know, if we got alternate universes of people, I don't know what's the name of the actor who's Shooter McGavin?
Oh yeah.
If you could get him jacked up,
He's a Buffalo Bills fan.
Okay, yeah. All right, so perfect. So if we could get a jacked up version of Shooter McGavin, he's my biff.
Awesome,
All right.
awesome.
All right, that was a tough one, Jordan.
Yeah, that was a good one, man.
That's a good
That was
one.
a good
Tough
Next time, Gremlins, same set.
one. Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Okay, we'll think about that one. Oh man. So that's Recast. So people listening to this, audience, let's see who won this round.
Yeah, we want
Okay.
your feedback.
Absolutely. Make sure
We
you
want
post
your
your comments
feedback.
under there.
And let's see. Do you have some ideas for classic movies that we're gonna recast in the future? We'd love to see it. We'd love to keep trying to do this and think on our feet and do it. So that's definitely that. Guys, episode 2 of Podcast in Buffalo.
It's in the can.
It's in the can. It's been fun. Hopefully, you guys, if you want more advice, there's a particular subject we should jump onto. There's a scene that we want to look at. We're all out there for you. Let's make this interactive and make sure that we are casting Buffalo and podcasting Buffalo at the same exact time. So I am Kyle Mecca.
I am Peter Johnson.
Harry Lipsitz.
And this is Podcasting Buffalo. That's a wrap.
I love you.